Hello viewers, a very good afternoon. I'm prompted to come with this important issue, which was raised by magistrates the beginning of this month, October. And these are magistrates who are non-anti-corruption court officers. And they've raised a lot of complaints. And if we are to look into these complaints, they expose the judiciary, they expose the leadership, the Chief Justice himself leading the judicial capture on behalf of politicians. So, taking a look on this letter, it is a 5-page letter which was issued, and I will try to summarize it because I cannot cover each and every thing, but I will try to summarize it. For those who want it, you need to come to our WhatsApp group so that we can share, as well as on our Twitter handle. I will share it on our Twitter handle as well as our WhatsApp group, so that you'll be able to read on your own. But I will summarize the contents of this letter and the disgruntlement of these magistrates. And this is something which is happening, and something which is very important. So the heading is that they say that the open letter to Judicial Service Commission, Anti Corruption Commission, and Auditor General. That is the headline here. And they are saying that the capture of the judiciary by politicians is reached in alarming rate. However, this capture is done through the Chief Justice and the administration of the Judicial Service Commission itself. So the instruction do not come directly from the politicians at certain instances, but they've created a group of magistrates which are captured, who work under instructions. And these magistrates, they operate from the regional magistracy offices or section, and also they operate from the anti-corruption court. That is the reason why you see each and every political matter, it is being dealt with by either the senior official, the chief magistrate, the deputy chief magistrate, the regional magistrates, or the anti-corruption the anti-corruption court magistrates. And this is evident on what is happening on Honorable Job Sikala's matter, Honorable Joanna Mamombe's matter, together with the other girls. And if you look on on all these political cases, the same people, these cases are rotated in between the same magistrates. They're also being rotated in between the same prosecution. And the question is, are these the only magistrates we have? Are these the only prosecutors we have? If you are to answer that question, you will see the reason why these magistrates are complaining. So, in other words, it means that these magistrates are dormant. They are subjected to useless cases, and they cannot sit down to deliver justice in such sensitive matters dzinenge dzine political bearing mukati. And the Chief Justice will be there to actually give a directive kuti zvinhu zvacho zvofanira kunge zvifamba sei. And they does have a team of prosecutors dzekuti ikauya through prosecutor Michael Reza or Mtsokoti, they know very well kuti these people vari kuuya nenyaya dzakadai, so they have a certain agenda, and they give the expected ruling in such judgments. That is what the magistrates are saying here, in summary. That is on the first page, and they fingered the administration of the Judicial Service Commission itself. And this is so embarrassing to hear, and this is embarrassing to see, because we expected to see justice being delivered. We expect to see justice being administered without fear and without favor. And each and every judicial officer is supposed to be allowed to do his or her work. If you look on the regional magistrates are designed to deal with the issues like attempted murder, the issues like rape. These are the cases the regional magistrates are subjected to within the Judicial Service Commission. But if you look onto this issue they are now being involved in matters dzinofana kunge dziri kuprovincial magistrates dzakaita sedzana honorable Job Sikala. These are provincial magistrate matters, but they are being hijacked by these superior magistrates, and they've raised an issue of corruption, and they said it's not like the magistrates are corrupt, but it's the system which is corrupt, because the clerk of courts and the entire team which works there, they demand money from the people, and they pretend as if the magistrates are demanding such money. So that is another issue that they have raised here. So they've also went on to talk about the humiliation of magistrates, because whenever they are traveling, whenever they are walking or they are boarding commuter buses, they are ridiculed by the people. They are living in rented apartments, and they are living together with the same people they would have judged, or they would have sentenced into prison. And they are also given transport by the same people who are litigants. They've raised that issue, and they've raised it in relation to the issue of remuneration of magistrates and judicial officers. And they have also raised an issue of CIO operatives masquerading as magistrates as well. And they've raised an issue of another magistrate, Mr. Mbambanje, and they are saying he's a non-CIO and is feared by both magistrates and prosecutors, and he does whatever he wants, because he was placed there to make sure that they control the narrative and they control whatever happens at the Judicial Service Commission or in the judiciary. So they've raised an issue of abuse of women, where you are supposed to be raped before you are promoted, or you are sexually abused for you to be promoted. These are the another issues which they've raised in this issue. They say that the appointments of women within the ranks and file are not based on competency or what they can do best, but they are based on uri kudyika here muriwo. Kana uri kudyika muriwo, you easily get promoted, but you easily get manipulated and get used. Kana vapedza kushandisa, then they will throw you into the dustbin. You are transferred, or you are placed kuma useless areas and remote areas, and everybody will use you as a doormat. And that is a very important issue yavaraisa ipapapo. So you see kuti there is no transparency within the JSC, and the issue is affected a lot of magistrates, and because they are being painted with one brush, they are being portrayed as corrupt, as captured, all of them, even if only a few are captured. Because if you are to look at the number of magistrates in Harare alone, and the number of magistrates we are dealing with all matters we know, you will see kuti they are just circulating on the same magistrates, but we have a lot of magistrates in Harare alone. And the question is, why is it that they are not giving a chance to other magistrates to hear these matters in these cases? And also they mentioned an issue of the capture of the High Court itself. They said High Court, number one, is the center of corruption. Number two, High Court is also captured to an extent where the clerks or the registrar, assistant registrars, they are dealing with the issue. They are writing judgments on behalf of the judges, and they are being bribed by lawyers, by unscrupulous lawyers to make sure that they write their own judgments. And they are saying that at other times these lawyers would come with a draft judgment, and these clerks or assistant registrars would forward those judgments to the judge. And after doing so, the judge will just sign that judgment. And if it is true, that allegation needs to be looked into, because we would see that is where the justice system is failing us as a people, and they need to do something. I think the president himself needs to do something and to look into this issue with agency. So the magistrates in Zimbabwe, they don't afford to buy a car, because the remuneration they are earning itself is so embarrassing. That is what they wrote in this letter. and they say that we are earning peanuts. We are earning a remuneration where they cannot send even their kids to better schools. So if you see a magistrate aneimba asina business raari kuita uye asina mukadzi ari kuita business kana kuti ari kushanda somewhere, you have to know kuti mari iyoyo iri kutowanikwa through stealing, through corruption. And the nature of cars they drive. But if you look on these senior magistrates, they don't feel it, they don't see it, because some of them they are given accommodation, and secondly, some of them they get fuel coupons and also vehicles, especially those in the regional magistracy. And it's a problem because it is now affecting the justice system as a whole, because they have mentioned an issue where there are secret remunerations which are being given to senior magistrates, but other lower ranked magistrates are not getting it. And that is another issue which they have raised here. And it's a very important issue being raised here. And lastly, but not least, they've said that the magistrates who are outside the anti-corruption courts, they feel neglected by the JSC, and they have been affected a lot, and they are appealing to the commissioners of the Judicial Service Commission to fully look into the affairs of Judicial Service Commission so that their concerns would be these commissioners to fully look into this issue without the involvement of the administration of the JSC itself. So these are the issues which are being raised here, and if the allegations are true, it's embarrassing to see that we have gone so low to such an extent where our magistrates are treated as second-class citizens and are treated as dogs. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. If your magistrate is being treated like this, what about any other person? So those are the issues we need to raise. Those are the questions we need to continuously ask. Why are you neglecting the magistrates? Because these are people who are supposed to be delivering justice. These are people who took oaths of office to deliver justice, but they are being subjected to such inhumane treatment. So we might speak about different treatment of politicians, of other people, but you need to know that this is happening across the board. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Even if you go to the police itself, the police officers are being subjected to this inhuman treatment, sexual harassment, torture, where they are sometimes forced to do some things, some errands for the bosses. And if you go also to the judiciary, they've raised the same issues, the same concerns there. So you see, nobody is spared when all these things are happening. But these are the results of nepotism. These are the results of unfair employment activities where tinopinzana mabasa pachizivano. Izvozvo zvinotikanganisa senyika, because kana wakapinzwa basa zvechizivano, you have to toe the line, you have to do whatever the boss says. Also kana wakapinzwa not on competence but because wagona kushandisa buri rako, zvinhu hazvifambi zvakanaka futi, because unenge uchingodzwa zvekuita uchidirectwa neburi iroro. So we need to deal with these issues. Giving jobs to women on condition of sexual favors is something which is wrong, and something which must be stopped ASAP, because zvinobvisa chiremerera kuvakadzi vedu, zvinobvisa chiremerera kuvanhukadzi vedu, and anopedzisira ipapa paatopiwa nhumbu, atopiwa mwana, because just imagine iwe une murume wako kumba, muri kuronga mhuri kuti muzvare umwe mwana, chidhara choya chobva chazvifoseredza pauri, wakupedzisira wakuchengetesa murume mwana asiri wake, just because of all sorts of things. So you see kuti this is not so good, and a lot of women, they will suffer in the long run, because ndo vanosara vasina varume vakatiza, ndo vanosara vachitambudzika, vane zvirwere, vanosara vachitambudzika vachengeta vana, because when the change of administration comes, you will see kuti a lot of things will change, and a lot of people will be shaken, and ndo vanhu vachasara vachidemba vachichema. But I don't know what you think in the comment section. Please tell me your thoughts and views in the comment section. And it's a sad note. I try to put this letter on Twitter as well, or as our WhatsApp group, for those who want to actually read each and every sentence. I decided to summarize it, because I know kuti taizopedza panapa 2 hours discussing and talking about this letter, but I have tried to summarize it, and I think you'll be able to find this letter and read for yourself. Signing out, my name is Ronald. Let us continue to register to vote and continue to make sure that we vote for change come 2020.